various important temples of ISKCON. So we have many of you here and many of you online. So let's just use this 1 hour as or whatever time remaining as a very transformative experience of Lord Balaram in our heart. Just want to set up a little bit of framework. Think about it, Lord Balaram wanted you to be here, and he in your heart is also hearing about his own glories. So it's just not that we are the only recipients. I always feel that there could be a manifestation of the spiritual world in our own heart. And this is just my speculation that the material world is 1/4 of the entire creation. There's 3/4, or am I getting it wrong? 1/3. There's 2/3. 1/4, right? And there's another 3/4 of the spiritual world. So there are a lot of personalities out there, somewhere, outside, all the deities, the sun god, the moon god, the air, the water, the elements. And there is so much more in our heart. Actually, the entire spiritual world can be in our heart. If you really eagerly want to experience that. And everything is here and now. Just recently, in the past week, I heard a very senior God sister of mine saying that I'm so much contented with my connection with the Lord here and now that I'm not like postponing that anticipation of meeting Krishna at the end of life. So we can experience Krishna and Balaram here and now, present moment. And then when we transition from one verse to the next, and hopefully it's the spiritual world, is a very known, familiar place that we have been already. So that's what has been some of my recent thoughts. How can we here and now with Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna? And I think we can do a little bit of setup, like we can close our eyes if you feel comfortable. And literally invite them from the altar to your own order in your heart. So see if you can just spend a few moments, maybe deeply inhaling, exhaling, let go of the thoughts, and focus on breath. And invite this entire altar with just Lord Balaram and Krishna and this beautiful jhula that is set up here in your own heart. And with that, you can pay obeisances to the Lord who has entered your heart. And whatever else you do when you enter this space, you can do that in your own heart as well. Okay, so the topic of this little sharing is that Lord Balaram is source of all strength and service. And we are going to see what all different kind of services that Lord Balaram himself does and how he can inspire in our own heart to do everything, every little thing that we do for Krishna with so much of purity and as he does when in his pastimes. So first of all, let's talk about Lord's previous incarnation, Lord Balaram's previous incarnation. His previous incarnation was Lakshmana. Though we do not really celebrate Lakshmana's appearance day so prominently, we do celebrate Balaram's next incarnation, which is Lord Nityananda as Nityananda Tiradashi. But Lakshmana is, his appearance is not that celebrated, but that's okay. And he had, I mean, I can go on and on talking about Lakshmana for like, I don't know, so many, dedication of his every moment to Lord Ram from his very birth. And not only him, but his wife, together served Ram and Sita. So wonderful. And he had to be Lord Ram with so many different tests. And you will find in many of Lord Balaram and Krishna and Gaurnitai and Gaurnitai and Ram and Lakshman, that they never had not never, many times they did not have same perspective on situations. Sometimes very conflicting. But the sweetness of the relationship is so prominent, and that actually informs, at least I was inspired, that it's not about having different perspectives, it's really having right relationship that can help resolve our difference of opinions. So yeah, he served Lord Ram despite many tests that he had to go through, and some of them that were that when Lord Rama was given this order to be in exile, Lakshman wasn't given, and Mother Sita wasn't given. But Mother Sita is still justified because she's wife and she has taken vows when during her marriage to be with Lord Ram all the time. But Lakshman did not take any of such vows. So he willingly went with Lord Ram, and just as a servant, and then he had taken a vow to not sleep for 14 years to be able to serve Lord Ram. And instead his wife Urmila said, okay, I'll sleep for you. So she said, I will not open my eyes till you come back. So it's impossible for me to even imagine that. And then Lord Ram told multiple things for Lakshmana to do, which were just heartbreaking. And Ramayana's story is full of, contrastingly, Krishna's stories are all full, fun-filled pastimes. Kill this demon, do this. There's a lot of pastime with gopis, but Lord Ram's pastimes are filled with so much of sadness, immense sadness. And many of them were when Mother Sita was being taken away, and then when she came back, after the fight with Ravana gets killed right there in Sri Lanka. Lord Ram never had any question about her chastity, but then in order for him to bring back the honor to Mother Sita, he ordered Lakshmana to light up a fire for her to give her Agni Pariksha. So Lakshman did with tears in his eyes that, he just abided by the decision of Lord Ram. And similarly, when he had to leave Mother Sita at Valmiki's ashram, oh my God, that's heartbreaking. And he had to put service of, and in some places it is said that he was so feeling bitter with Lord Ram. He said, "You're not my brother. You are king of Ayodhya, and as a king, I'm doing as a subordinate to a king. I'm doing this service, not as your brother." So just and of course, Mother Sita was carrying love and Kush, and that's the time he left her. And his interaction with Mother Sita on the way and how he left. But the thing is that only Lakshmana could do all these services to Lord Ram. If he can be the only one who could do such personal, difficult, intimate services to Lord Ram. So that, and after some point, Lakshmana said, "That's enough. In my next birth, I don't want to be your order bearer. I will be the order giver. So I will come as your elder brother. So give me a break, So that's where our next, what is this I'm going? Okay, yeah. And there was a lot of pain and misunderstanding, but still Lakshmana as an epitome of service, which will shine out in all his appearances, that service is so prominent in his mood that nothing can overtake that. So here comes into beautiful pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan and Balaram and Krishna. There's so much description by Srila Rupa Goswami and other acharyas about in detail about Balaram's how he looks, which actually even Yashoda loved him a lot, and how he appeared, and we'll touch on some, but there are so many details. We can spend 8 days. Probably next time you can think about having 8 days of Balaram's pastimes. We can, go into detail of how his birth and other aspects. So yeah, Nand Maharaj was son of Prajanya Maharaj, and then Devaki was in the prison house, and there were other children, 6 children, which were killed by Kamsa. And of course, there's a whole thing about that's the purification of heart. Some of the speakers may speak in the next week about who those demons are and what they represent. And then was Balaram. So there is a distinction between Balaram Sankarshan, also Sankarshan Kala and Sankarshan Mula. There are 2 different tattvas. So though he took so he was transferred, when he was transferred from the womb of Devaki to Rohini, it said that the 2 lords merged, Mula Sankarshana and Kala Sankarshana. There's technicalities, and you'll hear some of the technicalities on Sunday with the parents of Krishna, similarly. So Balaram got transferred from womb to womb, and Krishna got transferred after taking birth. So one got transferred before taking birth and one got transferred after taking birth. But yeah, so he took, so that the Yogamaya basically is, had a role to play to transfer the pregnancy, and then Balaram took birth from Rohini, and hence it's called Rohini Nandan. Okay, moving on. So, who is Balaram? He said, well, first expansion of Krishna, and from him there are so many expansions that come out, and then even all the Sheshanags and all those are further expansions of Balaram. So, first expansion of Krishna is Balaram. And it's just that the only difference between the 2 is that Krishna is dark and Balaram is white. Shama and Shukra. You can see these are the beautiful deities from Vrindavan, and you can also see the same pose of the deities here on the altar, the smaller deities. And this is, let's just pause here, why Srila Prabhupada installed Krishna Balaram as the centerpiece deities in a most important temple, kind of the headquarters of ISKCON, and that too in Vrindavan. We would assume that there would be Radha Shyamsundar in the main altar, but actually it's Krishna Balaram is so prominent the importance can be seen from here that, the relationship between the Lord, the pastimes, the service mood, the Lord and the servitor Lord, basically. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Balaram is the Supreme Servitor Lord, the one who serves, the topmost servitor mood of Krishna is Balaram. So he's on the center deity, and sometimes if you have to spend time in the yatras or extended time in Vrindavan, it almost feels like, you come from, you go to visit different places, and when you come, you almost feel like they have returned from their pastimes, they have been bathed by their mothers, they have been decorated, and they have been placed on the altar. So that's some of the reflections, from my attending Vrindavan Yatras. I'm coming back in the evening in the Kartik month, and everybody's offering the lamps. It's very impressionable. Okay, embodiment of service mood, and Krishna delights in Balaram's service. And it's Krishna himself, Lord Krishna's first expansion. And of course, that happens by the will of the Lord himself. Any expansion that comes from Krishna is by his will. And Krishna wants to have very sweet pastimes and have a brother. So Krishna has Balaram. And Lord Balaram serves Krishna tirelessly. There's nothing that I did. There's a whole slide on what all the rasas Balaram has with Krishna. But bed, pillows, sandals, flow, anything, mridanga, harmonium, anything that can be used in service of Krishna is Lord Balaram. Nothing is there which is not used in Krishna service who's not Balaram actually, or his what you say, amsha or empowerment or however you like to call it, but it all comes from him. And he's very gentle yet firm, and you can see that when it comes to Lord Nityananda. He's so gentle, he can go to Jagai and Madai and say, okay, come on, just be devotees, beg them, cry in front of them to become devotees, and then when they hit him, he was the one who saved them by saying, please, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please forgive them, please forgive them. And similarly with Balaram, quite gentle, but at times, he's firm too. Wherever he has to correct somebody's mood of, not a service mood towards Krishna, then he can be very, very firm, corrective, and he has killed certain beings too. So. And you can see in Lakshman's case also, like any time Lord Ram was being questioned, and even when Bharat came to meet Lord Ram, and Lakshman was like, okay, I really want to check him. He has come here also to harm you, and I want to. So he's when it comes to Krishna, and of course he's in this case Lord Ram, or he can get aggressive or angry. So pastimes in Vrindavan, there's so many pastimes that we can go on unlimitedly, talking about his various pastimes, and there are many books. The Gopal Champu has been written with details of their pastimes. It's like almost 10th canto rewritten with so many more insights. So a little detail about Balaram's birth. Actually, how old is Balaram? How many days older? Anybody has any idea? So what I heard is this, that he waited for a year and some months in the womb before he took birth, because he was waiting for the right time for Krishna to appear, and just before Lord Krishna appeared, he actually took birth. But as far as his age is concerned, like we talk about Shukdev Goswami, he was 14 years old when he took birth. So the science of today defies all of this. They can't explain any of these things. But he was actually 14 or 15 months older than Krishna. But he chose to appear just a few days before Lord Krishna. And then when the Nan Utsav was celebrated after Krishna's birth, he was so jovial and part of it, even though he was a baby, he was. Some of these things are beyond information, how they were part of it yet so young. So that was the time, when he was so joyous, part of the Utsav at that time. And they would play all day long. Childhood games, so many games. And one of the pictures I have later, that they are holding on to the tails of the cows. And the cows are going all over Vrindavan. And they are riding on the tails of the cow. Not heard of this. Probably here in the US, that we can hold a cow's tail and go for a ride. Here we have roller coaster ride, but that was their roller coaster ride. And I know there are not many youngsters here. I was planning to use the word bro. He's Krishna's bro. Really the best bro. And a lot of wrestling, tending cows, and just amazing pastimes. And also, as they grow older, they were protecting the cows, tending the cows, and they later protecting the cows, and they were protector of Rajvasis, and even their mood, because Balaram knew that Lord is, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He was cognizant of it most of the time. But Yogamaya did cover him also a few times, especially when the pastime of stealing the cow by Lord Brahma. So that particular day he did not go because there was something, astrologically it was his nakshatra, and then it was something, and there was, at that time he chose not to go, but at the same time, he was not thinking that Lord is, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And at times he had put Krishna into trouble also, when Krishna had eaten mud. So he came and complained to Mother Yashoda. And at times when Mother Yashoda they were astonished that, many times when she was astonished, how could Krishna do this, how could Krishna do that? He said, no, Mother, he's okay, he's just a boy. So he will cover up their mood or revelation of Krishna to be the Supreme Lord, and assist in the pastimes of the Lord however way Yogamaya wants to orchestrate it. And by the way, Yogamaya has this amazing technology to know Krishna's heart. Once I asked, how is this, Krishna wants to do something, and then somehow Yogamaya knows it, and then she orchestrates everything. She goes into everybody's mind, and she orchestrates these dresses, peacocks, flying here and there, Vrindavan, communicating. So actually, she knows every moment what Krishna wants. That's how it is. That's her, reading Krishna's desires all the time, and she's so much actually just orchestrating that. So with the assistance of Yogamaya, everything is just so perfectly planned out in Vrindavan. And there are some of the demons that he killed: Dhenukasura, Pralambasura, Balbala. And I have some notes about these demons, if I can pull them up quickly, what they were, and what was the... so Dhenukasura we know is a donkey demon, and Balaram killed him in Talavan forest. He was trying to have the ownership, basically Dhenukasura was trying to have ownership over tal fruits, and Balaram just shook some trees, and that's it. He was the trees are pretty tall, and he just shook it, and Dhenukasura became aggravated, and then he grabbed his hind legs and just moved him around and threw him. So the crux of that is that, where is it? That it's mode of ignorance that he was, the Dhenukasura represents. And the next one is Pralambasura. He was a deceptive cowherd boy in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and Balaram knew and identified him, and he killed him as well. So that's the deception, the unearthing one's heart that he is killing. And Balbala is a demon who was actually disturbing sacrifices of some great sages. So during a pilgrimage to Naimisharanya, Balaram encountered them, and that's when he killed. This is all in 10th canto. And Roma Harshana Sutta. So, Jai Shri Radha Gopi Krishna Balaram. So the next one here is Roma Harshana Sutta, and he's not a demon, but really he was disrespecting Brahmanas when they were reciting the Puranas, and so anything that is somebody's creating an obstacle to follow dharma or follow devotional path, And those obstacles he will remove, or those who are creating those obstacles, he will remove. In this case, Lord Sita. And Chanan and Mushtika. So when, of course, Krishna and Balaram went to Mathura, so that's where Krishna killed Chanura and Balaram killed Mushtika. So both of them got rid of these two important personalities, and that's when Kamsa got a little alerted that okay, these are some powerful boys coming in. So here, service of Balaram in 5 rasas. He serves Lord in all 5 rasas. Hare Krishna. So in Shanta rasa, all the paraphernalia of Krishna, Mridanga, altar, flute, anything that we use, and if we are using a computer or our cars, it's really our own consciousness that can transform everything of this world as a manifestation of Balaram. Anything that is used in service of Krishna is a manifestation of Shantaras of Balaram. Very powerful. And Dasya, so not only the objects that we see, but the mood of service. And this Dasya Ras actually is prominent in all other rasas. So, Dasya Ras includes Shantaras, and the other rasas includes all the other rasas too. It's just that the degree keeps on increasing, and then the prominent one is the one on which is on the forefront. But we'll see as we go along the other higher rasas what happens in that. But mood of service and simply wants to please Krishna. And here is one of the phrases that I use, which at least have helped me. I always find what is service mood. I was like, yeah, it was raining something, but then one very powerful thing I heard is that mood of service means there's nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for me. That's it. And I felt that really jolted me, checked me, and really I could see the balance where I felt that even I was doing devotional service, even when I was chanting, how much was it for me and how much was it for Krishna? And then I said, okay, nothing in the chanting that I'm doing is for me. And there's not an iota, even if an iota of reciprocation or all my troubles and pains, everything will stay the same. And no acknowledgement, Krishna will not even acknowledge it. And still I say, Krishna, no, this, and sometimes I have to start from 1 minute. Can I live in that moment for a minute where I say, Krishna, there is nothing in it for me. Nothing shifts in my life, but everything goes to you. So it's almost like, you have a TV running, the movie of our life running. And probably that becomes very prominent when we are chanting. I feel that everything that's bothersome, subconsciously also will pop up. That's there. I don't know what subtle things get just popped up in chanting, and then oh my God. Am I looking at my own autobiography, or I'm chanting whatever I'm doing and how to get out of it? So it's like a movie of our life running, and all the future aspirations, even if it is devotional aspirations. Like for example, when I was given this service to speak about it, in my chanting I was thinking, okay, what am I going to speak in that lecture? So I get caught up in that a lot. What am I going to share? How am I going to share this, speak this, that? And then I say, okay, take a remote. We were looking for a remote control of the TV. So that remote control will stop or pause. My life is whatever it is. Whatever I need to speak will get taken care of. Whatever else I need to do, whatever I need to resolve, whoever conflict, planning, cooking, I don't know what all. The whole list that we can make. of what we did the past day, past year, past week, past life, who knows? I mean, that's where Krishna protects us. Probably we don't go into the past life. What happened to me when I was a child? What will happen to me 10, 15 years later? All that. Pause. And now, whatever I'm doing is simply to please Krishna. And Krishna wants to get pleased by me. This one-to-one relationship, I would say, okay, there are so many fantastic acharyas, devotees, so many living entities are here. Why will Krishna, like, who am I? Who am I to do anything? Who am I to please Krishna? You know, sometimes we can go in that thought also. Useless, worthless person, I cannot, you know, why, I don't deserve Krishna's attention. Well, that mood is good to some extent, but if it diverts us away from our service of thinking, I have to, like, it's like a mandate on me, like a job description. Actually, that's the only job description I have, is to please Krishna. And if I can do it for 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours of chanting, and then keep on extending it to 24 hours. And for me, I feel that my experience is that our life is not like a linear progress towards having that pure Krishna consciousness. It is, you can experience that even that in 1 minute of chanting, you can start getting glimpses of what it could be. It's just that those who practice or eagerly wants it, you know, after that 1 minute or small little glimpse of Krishna, when we eagerly keep on wanting that, then it can just fill our entire day and our life, and that is what is life of Srila Prabhupada and many of our acharyas. That they are able to sustain that the whole time, anyone understanding it. So, Dasyaras simply wants to please Krishna, and there's nothing in it for me. And yeah, what the point I was making is that Krishna, we are part and parcel of Krishna. There's an eternal relationship with the Lord, and that Krishna cannot break with us. And that's where the shelter is. Like, no matter what we do, what we not do, that eternal Ami Tumar Nityadas, that relationship, Krishna has already created us as souls. He cannot revert it back. Now you are like, let me trash you because you are, you know, so bad. Let me trash you. You are not doing this, you are not doing that. Well, we may trash ourselves, but Krishna does not trash us ever. He just cannot. And this is something, one thing which is constant in our life, and it can be constant in our eternal life. And if that's the bond that we have with Krishna, and it's part and parcel, then Krishna wants a relationship with me, and Krishna wants to hear my chanting. So that's Dasyaras. Sakyaras. Here, of course, Krishna, Balaram was his elder brother, bro, and he protects Krishna also so many times. Mother Yashoda actually used to send Balaram, okay, you know, he's a naughty being, you go, you protect him, you make sure he has eaten his food, you know, he's like his assistant, her assistant was, you know, Balaram sent him. And Vatsalya cares with affectionate authority. I have examples of all of this somewhere, you know, in what aspect. But let's go to the next one, Madhurya Ras, where he actually is Ananga Manjari, who serves Srimati Radharani. So these are all the rasas are, he serves Krishna in all the rasas. And the point I wanted to make is that when somebody is in a Madhurya Ras, does not mean that they don't care for Krishna, they don't want to protect Krishna, they are not servant of Krishna, and you know, they are not Shantaras either. So Madhurya Ras contains all of them, Vasalya Ras contains all of this, Sakya Ras contains these two, Dasya Ras contain this. So that's the feelings towards Krishna get intensified. Okay, the next one is just spiritual significance of his appearance, like what it probably means to us. He prepares our heart to receive Krishna. And there are various ways. First of all, like a guru, he is eternal spiritual master, or he is the source of the Guru Tattva. He is the Adi Guru, and he cleanses our heart so that Krishna can reside in our heart. And without his mercy, Krishna will not manifest in our heart. Of course, when Krishna wants to come in our heart, he wants to come with all the paraphernalia and his associates. He doesn't just want to come by himself. So we need mercy of all his associates. And the mood of service, a very wonderful pastime depicted here. This is Yamuna, river Yamuna personified here. And this cursor doesn't, okay. So yeah, she was called upon by Balaram, and Balaram was having his own rasa dance with some of his set of gopis, and she did not come. And then he took his plow and dragged her into it. So here the mood of service is emphasized as an antidote to false ego. And the false ego is, again, all these versions that I shared, I'm not good enough, is also false ego. Sometimes, if it creates an obstacle in serving the Lord, then that also is a part of false ego. Or puffed up ego is another thing, that I'm the only one. So, and put all the shades of gray. So false ego is the first material from the pradhan, the material nature. That's the first thing that gets created, and it's the last one to get rid of. But actually, we don't get rid of it. We transform into a spiritual ego. I mean, look at Srila Prabhupada. He did wonderful things. False ego does not mean that we can stop doing big things for Krishna, think that we are small and false and little. The real ego means to do exactly what Krishna wants us to do in our life. It could be a pujari, like some temples, I forgot, like when we visited remote in some places, and they're doing that service for 50 years, generations, and they're totally satisfied. They're not looking for something else to do. So that's what Krishna wants them to do, and that's what that person would be doing if they're connected with the Lord. And that's totally nourishing and satisfying. So in our life also, there's actually, this world is filled with competition and comparisons, but actually Lord wants us to do something for Him every moment. And if we just, we get to the art of connecting with the Lord, all our decisions, and get very clear, there's a lot of clarity, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and it could go on without somebody recognizing it or not. And if somebody recognizes it, well, that's the other problem. You do great things and you're fantastic, you're appreciated, then it doesn't touch us. Why? Because we clearly know it's Krishna. So when there's nothing in it for me, in that particular activity or in that particular service, when I don't exist in one sense, I don't exist in that service, so appreciation comes, well, it's not for me. It's nothing in it for me. So it all goes to the Lord. And the root of the false ego is to think we are something we are not. So even to think that we are not part and parcel of Krishna is the ignorance root of this false ego. And to think more than that I am the center of the world and I am the Krishna in my house or in my office and in my whatever, dorm or school or wherever, both the things are, if we think we think something that we are not. And then so many false designations, Sarvopadi, Vinirmuktam, there is so many masks, a lot of masks on us. And a long time back, in a festival of inspiration, His Holiness Sachinanda Maharaj was there. I don't know how many years ago, and this was exactly what he was almost enacting out. He's very visual and very animated, and he just takes one point and take it to a depth. So that's why I was saying these are the masks. So he made us remove a lot of our masks. We went through a meditation of now this is the mask, remove it. Now this is the mask, remove it, and remove all the masks. What are we left? Suppose we are thrown in an island, somehow dropped from the sky into an island, and nothing of our, family members, our work, our whatever X, Y, Z things that we identify with does not exist. Nobody knows us. So how will we perceive that moment, and what will we do at that moment? So something to think about. And that's really living from platform of soul, which does not have any false designations.